Right, for this one then, I'm going to use the Painted with Love, and I'm going to use this lovely foiled paper, and I'm going to use Whisper White as my base. I'm not going to mix up the patterns, I'm just going to stick to this all around, okay? So what we need is we need a piece of white cardstock, which measures 10.5 by 6.5. I've got two there, no. So let's just cut that to start with. So 10.5 by 6.5. Excuse the little tapping noise in the background. It's the dog. I don't know, he's found himself something to play with. So 10.5 by 6.5 then. And then for the panels we need, I'm going to use it this way. So we're going to have, the panels are going to be, sorry, if I'm going to use it this way, I need to use it that way. The panels are going to be 4 and 7/8 for the sides, and they're going to be by 2 and 3/8 wide. So 4 and 7/8 by 2 and 3/8, and we need 4 of those. Oh, the sun's come out really brightly. Sorry. I don't like apologising for sun. And then for the lid, we need a 2 and 3/8 square. So a 2 and 3/8 square for the lid. And for the sides of the lid, we need 2 and 3/8, which is that piece there, by 7/8. So we can get a couple of those out of there. And then instead of, you could just put it on your front and your back instead of cutting into more paper, because I'm all about conservation of paper. Then for the lid, you need a piece of Whisper White, might have a scrap piece here, which measures, the box is 2.5, 4.5 by 4.5 by 4.5. 2, 3, 4.5. Yeah. So 4.5. It's just a piece of scrap. It just happens to be the right size. By 4.5. Okay. For the lid. And that's all of your cutting. Now for scoring, and I still haven't dug my my stylus out yet. So we're going to move it across a little bit, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, and score at 1 on all sides. And what you could do for those, I mean, you might have a scrap somewhere to use those 2 other little pieces, or you could just use the plain gold. You could just use a plain gold little scrap or something, or you could pick out one of the colours in the DSP. So here we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 3 inches, 5.5 inches, 8 inches. And then we're going to turn it and we're going to score it at 5. Okay? And that is all for scoring and cutting for now, until we make our label. Right, so I don't know if this sun's getting on anyone's nerves, but it's getting on mine. So I'm going to just shut it out a little bit. Right, so now then, this is absolutely covered in sticky stuff. So I'm just going to fold and burnish all these score lines, just the usual. Fold and burnish. People think you're back to normal because you're working again, or you're making videos, or whatever you're doing. First of all, if ever you think someone's back to normal after they've lost a child, you're delusional, because there's never going to be back to normal. And although it wasn't my child that died, it was my sister's child. And me and my sister are only a year apart in age. And our children are very close in age. In fact, her son that passed away was just 4 weeks older than my son. So they'd grown up together. They went to school, college together. Yeah, so it's a significant loss anyway to lose any child. But yeah, when it's your sister's child, it's not only have you lost as well, but you know, the grief you feel by proxy for your sister is enormous. So yeah, people don't get over and get back to normal with these kind of things, and I don't think I certainly ever will. So we're just muddling through. And doing what we can. So, and crafting is a huge release from stress. It makes you zone out, and it makes you just feel, it gives you some breathing space and some me time, and some, you know, just time to just, you know, just zone out. And sometimes that's, you know, really important time. And the other thing is, you know, I suppose some people think, you know, we don't think of an 18-year-old as a child, but and a lot of people aren't very close to their 18-year-old children. Or to any 18-year-olds, they can be quite difficult people to be close to sometimes. But we were very close to ours, and we are very close to ours. And so, you know, we have managed to maintain extremely close bonds with our children throughout their lives. And so, you know, I'm not saying that's even worse. But it is it's not, this is not just like, you know, somebody who grunts at you and disappears into their bedroom. That's not the kind of teenagers we have. So they're noticed by their absence quite profoundly. So yeah, we've had a few people who have told us we should be over it by now. I think we should be back to normal, and some people have been quite nasty, which is, you know, if I was normal and somebody was being nasty to me about something like this, I would not be nice back. So the fact that I'm being okay back shows that I'm far from normal. Yeah, and yeah, my son's been told to pull pull himself together. Not that nobody's wandering around wailing and crying and whatever, but you know, we're still finding that we need a moment now and again. And some people think that we should be past that by now. And may I add that he died 8 weeks ago, so we're not talking about a long time. But yeah, some people think it should be done and dusted by now. I should have forgotten about him and moved on. And to be quite honest with you, I just hope and pray that those people are better prepared for when somebody they love dies, because they're going to get a hell of a shock if they think you forget somebody's entire life and stop missing them in 8 weeks. So, I'm full of the joys of spring today. There we go. Just keep popping these on. I don't even know if there's a right way or a wrong way to put these on now. I've totally lost the plot. So I'm just popping them on as... I don't think there is. If there is, it'll become quite obvious when I've finished. And then I'll think, oh, that should have been like that. But I don't know, I think it's okay as it is. Oh, it's looking really nice. It's not looking like a cookie box, is it? It's looking like a perfume box, looking very nice. Well, you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. So it could be used for a perfume box anyway. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I said, this is my front one. So it's my second one from my tab. And I'm going to go and I'm just going to die cut a little oval in there. So I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, so what I did was I just took, if you put it on the back of your cardstock, then you can obviously measure up to your, and then put it through like that through your die machine. But you can obviously lift this up then, and then you can position it lower down if you want. I just chose to position mine there. Okay, and I used a stitch shaped oval, and then I get a nice tag to use. So I had to run it through twice because my, for some reason, one side of my big shot isn't cutting properly, so I think I need a new one. Yeah, and then you get a nice stitch shaped tag with the backing on it as well, which is nice to use for the tag. So in the back of this then, I'm going to use a piece of vellum from this Sheer Perfection Designer vellum stack. At the moment we do, Stampin' Up does have some printed window sheet, I think. I'm not sure if it has any printed vellum on going on at the minute, but you can pick up previous stuff, you know, what do you call it, retired vellums that are printed on resale sites. That's where I get mine from. There's some gorgeous ones, you know, that are out there, and I've had quite a few of them. Well, I have quite a few of them in my stash actually. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a panel that more or less covers the whole of the inside of that. Okay, so I'm not going to cut it in my cutter, I'm just going to cut it by scissors, with my scissors. But if you think you're going to make a hash of it, then by all means use your cutting machine, your trimmer. I'm just going to cut that off there. Okay, so the only reason I'm cutting it quite large is I don't want it to sort of catch when I'm putting my bits in. So that's the only reason. Now my vellum will be glued on the very edges. Okay. Now you might want to use tape for this. but I mean I use glue and it does the business for me. So the dog's just run off with something. A packet of blue tack. So I'm going to have to go and rescue that before he gets it all over the place. And then when you're applying vellum, always push your glue outwards rather than inwards and risk getting it in your window. Okay, that's really pretty. That's a gorgeous box for a packet of Jammy Dodgers. And then I'm just going to put some glue here on the tab and then just fold that over. And that's that joined. And then I'm just going to fold my insides in. I'm not going to glue those, I'm just going to glue the outside. And the front as well. But my front will be the last piece that I put down. I think my Tombo's on the way out. Front will be the last piece I put down. Make sure your box is nice and square. This is why I don't trim in, I don't notch in my front tab, because that forces you to keep your box square, because you know you shouldn't be able to see any of this. Okay. And then there's the lid. And as I said, that lid's a little bit too big actually. I quite like that it's only decorated on two sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this tag. So I'm going to gold, it's a bit much really for some Jammy Dodgers. It's a posh box. I mean, you can always as well, you can always take that shape up and cut that out of the box as well, which would look quite nice. I'm going to try that. And just get it in the right position. Oh, that's quite nice. And then the tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hole punch the tag. Oops. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is, look at the state of my Tombo. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to probably heat emboss on there, I think, a sentiment, and then wrap the whole thing with ribbon. So if I just get my bickies and pop them in there, that is a very posh box. I think they would have to be very, very special homemade bickies, I think, to go in there. So I'm just going to use this gold tinsel so it doesn't push the lid off the box. Pop them in there. I mean, this could be anything. It could be chocolates. I've got some flakes over there. It could be a flake. And then put the lid on. And, oh, the sentiment. I did say, didn't I, that I'm not well, and I did say that I'm not back to normal. Hopefully I'll be forgiven for being a little bit of a fail today.